My name is Joe Burnich, and I am an introvert. So what I want to talk about in this video is what it means to be an introvert and an entrepreneur at the same time, and how to thrive, how this is actually a competitive advantage for you, and how you can use a mastermind group for introverts to unite, join forces, and actually take things to the next level. Okay, but we really need to understand the strengths of being an introvert. So at the last mastermind group that I had, and real quick, I want to explain what a mastermind group is before I jump into this. A true mastermind group is a group of individuals that meet on a regular basis. They become close, trusted friends. They help each other break through issues that they're having in business or in life. Okay, it's a very powerful way to hold yourself accountable, especially if you're a solopreneur that works from home. It's also a way to break the isolation. Being an entrepreneur can be one of the most lonely jobs in the world, and so a mastermind group is a way to break the isolation. And then it's just a way to really take it to the next level, make more money, have more impact on whoever you're working with, your client base or your customer base, whatever it is. What a mastermind group is not, it's not business coaching. A lot of people think a mastermind group is either business coaching or it's like a conference that you go to, because they actually call those masterminds too. They kind of stole that term. You go there, spend a bunch of money, hear speakers, and network with people. It's not that, and it's definitely not a networking group where you're selling things to each other. It's more like a serious support group that is focused on helping each other and empower each other to take it to the next level. That's what a real mastermind group is. That's the context that I'm going to be using throughout the rest of this video and on this article. And at the end of this, I'm going to make you a special offer if you're interested, if this resonates with you and you are interested in a mastermind group. I'm going to make you a special offer here. Okay, so what was going on was we were in one of our mastermind group meetings, and the topic came up of introverts versus extroverts, and there's a lot of introverts in my mastermind group. Okay, probably 75% would call themselves introverts, or they're at least closer to the introvert side of the spectrum. There's a spectrum of extrovert and introvert. It's not black and white. There's lots of gray in there, and people seem to either tend towards the introvert side or the extrovert side. Most of the people in my group, actually all the groups, would consider themselves introverts. Okay. And so we were talking about this, and there was like this negative stereotype that kept coming out saying, and it was like, introverts are at a disadvantage. I'm an introvert, so I can't do that. You can do that, but I can't. And so I'm like at this disadvantage, and it was almost like this, it's too bad that I was born an introvert type of vibe going on in the meeting. But it got me really thinking, and I wanted to go out and find like real solid information on being an introvert. And there's books on it. Here's a book right here, The Introvert's Edge, that I just ordered from Amazon that I'm getting ready to read. There's books on it, on the positive aspects, lots of YouTube videos, all kinds of stuff, articles, studies by psychology websites. So if you want to get into this and find out what the true strengths are. But I summed it down into the 8 reasons that I think you should really understand and really embrace if you consider yourself an introvert, okay? Because this is going to give you a huge advantage in the business world. So let's start up. Number 1, we enjoy thought-provoking conversations. Okay, small talk doesn't appeal to introverts as much as it does to extroverts. We want to get to the deep stuff, to the good stuff. We love having these deep conversations and really having something come out of the conversations, okay? So that's a huge advantage, especially in a group of other introverts and extroverts, is we're trying to break through and break through problems that each other is having, either an individual or the group as a whole. And small talk will not give you a breakthrough. Small talk will not help you get to the next level. Going deep, finding root problems and dealing with those, and holding yourself accountable, stating what you're going to do to a group of people, is fascinating, and it leads to pure progress. Introverts are naturally better at thought-provoking conversations. That's number 1. Number 2, we thrive in comfortable environments. Introverts typically don't like going into a new unknown environment with unknown people. They kind of clam up. They kind of shut down. I know I'm that way. And when I first started my mastermind group, it was terrifying. I had a piece of paper where I was talking about the guidelines and the structure of the mastermind, the very first meeting, and my hand was visibly shaking. I remember it, and I have another video all about that. So at first, when somebody joins a mastermind group and they're an introvert, it can be intimidating. It can be kind of scary. But after a few meetings, you realize that everybody here is open, honest, and vulnerable, and that they can be trusted. They're not a threat to you. It changes the game, and I can tell you right now, it's a safe, supportive feeling. And once an introvert has that comfort feeling, then all of a sudden they take off, and that's when things really get done. That's when introverts really thrive, is when they're in comfortable group environments. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, we are better listeners. One of the big things in a mastermind group is, people giving us their struggles and us listening to them, processing them, and then coming out with ideas or advice, typically based on experience. Since the introverts are better listeners, they're going to come back with better advice. Okay, they're going to process the information better, and they're not just going to speak from their hip. They're not going to speak just to be heard, which I'm going to get into in a second. But they're just better listeners, which is a huge advantage in business and in that mastermind context for sure. Number 4, we are better at solving difficult problems. It goes back to solving root problems rather than surface problems. Since we like to go deep, then we're naturally better at solving difficult problems. We're better at seeing the big picture and observing from different angles. Extroverts are not as good at seeing things from different angles. They kind of have some tunnel vision. My way is the only way type of thinking. Typically, not always. But typically introverts have that. That's a huge advantage. To be able to solve difficult problems is a huge advantage in business. And like I touched on this before, is we speak to provide value. Since we are processing stuff, we're not speaking just to be heard. We don't just like to hear our own voices. We like to offer value when we offer advice or when we're giving an opinion. Okay, and it's usually much more well thought out. Okay, than it would be for an extrovert. Okay, so that's a huge advantage. Number 6, we provide answers, not excuses. Now this is cool. I didn't realize this. I never thought about this as being something that is natural for an entrepreneur. But entrepreneurs, according to this article I read, typically will own their mistakes better than extroverts. They're better at blaming themselves than blaming someone else. Okay, and that blaming yourself can lead to issues as well. But someone that can own their problems, adjust course, and then make good decisions to never do that again, they're obviously going to be better in the business world. They're going to have that competitive advantage. Okay. And I've noticed that now that I've read this article, I think back and I noticed the introverts in the room they tend to take ownership, take responsibility, and not blame or make excuses for mistakes that they make. So huge advantage. Number 7, we are more independent. So introverts gain energy in solitude, okay? And so extroverts gain energy by social interactions. So the one way to tell if you're more on the introvert side of the spectrum is to notice that in social, like extended social situations, meetings, parties, whatever, we like to interact with people, we do, but at the end of an interaction, do we feel drained or do we feel energized? Typically, introverts will feel drained at the end of a social interaction, where extroverts need that social interaction to feel energized. Okay, so that's the difference. That's the main difference between introverts and extroverts. And so If you're an extrovert and you constantly need human interaction, you're going to be more codependent on people, okay, to get through any kind of situation in life, business, whatever. Whereas introverts are much more independent. They don't need those people. They don't need that constant interaction and socialization to get through the day. That's actually a drain, not an energizer. So it makes us more independent. And I mean, I don't think I need to explain to you that some of the most successful entrepreneurs, presidents, have been extremely independent people. And if you want to really dig and do a Google search for, successful introverts throughout history, you're going to find presidents, you're going to find business leaders. I don't want to get into the names. We could go on a long time about that, but Google that when you have time. And so when you're in a room full of independent thinkers that get together once a week, amazing things can happen. Like, you would be amazed what will happen if you tend to get stuck in your head. You'd be amazed at what a mastermind group can do for you. The last and final thing, which is really cool, is that introverts tend to be more loyal and have tighter and closer friendships. It takes longer for introverts to make friends, but once they do, they're loyal friends for life, and the bond is much stronger when introverts become friends. Now, like I said before, in the beginning, when you come into a new group and you don't know people, it can be stressful and overwhelming. But I just have a quick story. One of the members in our mastermind group was telling me. Now, he's an introvert. He is a computer programmer, creates apps, spends a lot of time in solitude, behind a computer. But he loves the interaction he gets once a week with the group. It's become something he really loves. But he's also part of a Rotary group that he's been a part of for 20 years, and he's been with the Mastermind group for less than a year. He said, I am closer, have much closer connections and friendships, and I'm much more open and honest with my Mastermind friends after a year, or less than a year, than I am with the Rotary group who I've been with for 20 years. So that's the power of a Mastermind. It's these deep, close connections, which allows you to that loyalty within the mastermind group that introverts are more that tend to create that deeper level, as opposed to extroverts are more surface friends, you could say. Introverts tend to have more deeper friendships. So the mastermind group is a way to do that. Now, that's it. That's all 8 that I came up with. I'm sure there's many more, but if you consider yourself an introvert, embrace these 8 qualities, these 8 strengths, and realize it's a huge advantage in business. Now, I presented this video in the context of being in a mastermind group, but if you're not part of our mastermind group, then you need to be part of one. It will change your life. It will change your business. My business, like I've said in another video, has gone from $300,000 in revenue a year to $500,000 in revenue, and I can directly relate all the big breakthroughs that I've had from interactions in the mastermind group, whether it was a connection, whether it was me taking a hot seat and everybody giving me some valuable information that I wouldn't have thought of myself, whatever it is, and then just the camaraderie, and I don't feel that loneliness and solitude anymore. It just gives me that drive that I need to really take it to the next level. If this resonates with you, I want to invite you to speak with us over here at the Impact Mastermind Group, and let's talk and see if our group is right for you. We are looking for new members. Okay, we're looking to grow this thing and get multiple groups going, and if this sounds good to you, you may be a great fit for our group. Okay, it's very affordable. So somewhere on this page, there's going to be a contact us button. If you're watching this on YouTube, go to impactmastermindgroup.com. I'll put a link in the description. Reach out to us. Let's have a conversation, and let's talk about if this is right for you. Once again, my name is Joe Burnich with the impactmastermindgroup.com, and I'll talk to you soon.